Alrighty. Misery the Grumpy Fairy. Misery didn't have any friends. It was her own fault. She was always grumbling. She grumbled at the fairy who baked the bread. She even grumbled at the fairy who collected her honey. Willow, her niece, couldn't understand her. "Why do you always find fault with everyone?" she asked. "Because everybody is so useless," said her grumpy aunt. One day Misery told the fairy who baked the bread, "Your bread is too soft. I like crusty bread." "If that's your attitude," said the baker fairy, "you can bake your own bread." "I shall," said Misery. The next day she was rude to the fairy who mended her shoes. "No one speaks to me like that," said the cobbler fairy. "From now on you can mend your own shoes." "I'll be glad to," said Misery grumpily. Then she insulted the fairy who collected the honey from the honey bees. "How dare you?" said the fairy. "I'm not staying here to be insulted. You can collect your own honey." And she stormed off. Soon there was no one in the village who would do anything for Misery. "How are you going to manage?" asked Willow. "No problem," said Misery. "I shall do everything myself." And with that she set to work to bake some bread. Misery lit the fire to get the oven really hot. Then she mixed and kneaded the dough until her arms ached, and she let it rise. Then she put the loaf in the oven and sat down for a well-earned rest. But Misery fell asleep, and the smell of burning awoke her. All that was left from the loaf of bread was a few burnt cinders. What Misery didn't realize that the fairy used a special baking spell, a spell that Misery didn't know. Misery was still determined to carry on. She went to collect some honey from the bees. She watched them buzzing around the hive. Misery just waved her arms at them, shouting, "Out of my way, bees!" They didn't like it one bit. Their answer was to swarm around her and sting her nose and chin. You see, what Misery didn't know was that the honey fairy used a special honey collecting spell. Misery ran from the bees as fast as she could, and as she did, she lost her shoe. Oh dear, what a state she was in! Burnt bread, bee stings on her nose and chin, and only one shoe. "You can't go on like this," said Willow, when she saw her. Misery did some serious thinking. "Tell the fairies I've turned over a new leaf," she told Willow. "From now on I shan't be Grumpy Fairy no more." Willow was delighted. So were the other fairies. Misery didn't complain about anything for months after that, and Willow kept her fingers crossed that it would last. The end. Sorry it was a short one. I'm running out of stories. I'll keep searching for new ones. Love ya!